This is your boy DJ Leon D, and on this channel we talk about travel, money, and lots of cooking. Three things I know quite a bit about. I'm not an expert at anything. Nope, not an expert. I just been around a long time and know a lot. Let's get it on. Yeah, this is your boy DJ Leon D. I'm back here to tell you about Miami and the food in Miami. I'm gonna tell you something. I have lived around the world. I've been almost every place you want to go in the States and around the world. Now, I have lived in Asia, Europe, Central America, Africa. Oh yeah, I lived in all of them. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what makes Miami food different than everybody else. No matter where you go, you can find some good food. Not just in the brick L section of Miami. Not just downtown by the high rises. You can go to Homestead, Hialeah. You can go almost any place you want to in Miami, and you will find some good food. Now, what I'm going to tell you may surprise you. The best food in Miami is a place called the Red Rooster. The Red Rooster got a nice menu. It's not too big. It's not too fancy. But everything on there is good except for one thing. I did not like the candy yams. But everything else, from the oxtails to all the chicken, everything was just excellent. It doesn't matter what you order. You're going to get a good meal. Even for breakfast, I went to Maddie's, downtown Miami. You can't beat the food. It is what it is. See, the difference between Miami and Atlanta is that Miami keeps it real. They got ethnic food everywhere. I'm talking about you name any country in South America or Central America, and Miami got a restaurant that can cook that food from those other areas. That's what I like. You know, if I had to rank all the cities in the world based on food, Miami is at a very, not number one, because I do like Munich. I do like Munich. Now, some places you're going to go like Paris, you get pretty food. I mean, very, very pretty food. It ain't going to fill you up. Let me give you right now. Let me tell you right now, it's not going to fill you up. And you're going to pay a decent price for it. I'm talking about more than you would in the States. Because when I had a breakfast in Paris, I spent like 50 bucks. And I can go to IHOP and get something similar for like $25, $30. Yeah, 30 bucks at IHOP give me the same feeling that I get in Paris when I spend 50 bucks. But you go to Miami, you spend 30 bucks, you get the same food. And I think you get a better atmosphere because it's down home. It's almost like a shack. And anytime you go to any place with a name the shack in it, you know you're going to have good food because the owner who started that is still there working. But see, Atlanta is one of those cities that want to give you something that came from somewhere else, but they got the wrong people cooking the food. Well, if you go to Miami and you want to go to a place that's got Peruvian food, Argentinian food, Bolivian food, Panamanian food, they got people who came from Panama and Bolivia and Argentina and Ecuadorian and Peruvian. Those people came from there. So it's not like you got a transplant who don't know what they're doing. No, they know exactly what they're doing. I mean, I was on Biscayne Boulevard a lot, and I found good food everywhere I went. You eat when you don't want to eat. That's when you know the food is very, very good. When you go there and you eat and you're not hungry, you got some good food. So, saying that, even when I went down to the Miami boardwalk next to the cruise port, it was a woman who had a food truck. All her food was good. I can tell by the people's reaction to that. It was a whole different ball game when I got to her truck because people were ordering food, sitting there eating outside, a nice 80 degree day, 80 degrees. they were eating their food like they haven't eaten in a week. So I've been to places like Crazy About You and Rusty Pelican, Miami, and all that. They're not bad, but they're not like the Red Rooster. The Red Rooster to me was the number one place in Miami to go eat. Now, we made a reservation, but we made it early, like at 6 o'clock. I'm not sure why a reservation was required, but it did get busy about 7:30. And now they give you a time limit on how long you can eat. You can't sit in there for no 3 or 4 days. They don't play that mess. But the service was good, the food was great, and there was nothing that you didn't want to know that one of the servers couldn't tell you. Even when it's not their best on the menu. My server told me one thing, do not order. He says, my personal taste is that I don't like it, but a lot of people do, and that's why it's on the menu. He said, but it's not me. So I was like, okay, it's not you. I get that. But I ordered what he recommended, and they give you cornbread. People, let me tell you something about cornbread. They should not give you any kind of bread that's not hot. No. If the bread's not hot, don't give it to me, because I want my bread hot. So it ended up being, cornbread. It was a lot of it, and it's almost like they wanted to give you a filler. But man, once the entree came out, the entree was a game changer, because you had way more than you're gonna eat. You were stuffed, you were full. It was great food from the very, very beginning. So if you go to Miami, don't get focused and locked in on one particular part of Miami to get good food. Because I ate downtown, I ate at Homestead, I ate at Hialeah, I ate in Coral Gables, I even ate at Miami Beach. There was not a bad meal. And my goal on this podcast is to tell you what I will or won't do. And not only that, there's never a bad meal, but I don't think that we spent more than $60 on any two meals. The Red Rooster, I spent like $100, but I'm gonna tell you why, because I bought some wine with it, and I bought a couple of shots of Hennessy and Coke. So and those are cheap. Hennessy and Coke was like $10. Now, don't take a taxi going there. Take an Uber. Taxis want to rip you off. They want to not run the meter when it's in your favor. When it's in their favor, they run the meter. And that's just how taxis work in Miami. And most of the places in Miami, I stayed at the IHG, Intercontinental Hotel. The Intercontinental Hotel is a dump. So that motivated me to walk to where I wanted to go to, because I knew how the taxis ran. And I knew they were scammers. And none of the taxi cab drivers are from the States. They're from every place but the States. That's just what it is. And they're going to try to run a scam on you. So, IHG and all the other hotels, you got to control your taxi cab drivers. If not, someone's going to be dead. So, saying that, when you go to Miami, it's just so much different than Fort Lauderdale food, because all the food in Fort Lauderdale sucks. Fort Lauderdale got these Irish pubs and these other kind of pubs, and that's all good and dandy, but you want something authentic to South Florida. Now, there is no snow crabs, none of that kind of stuff. There's none of that at all. So that worked out good, because it's out of season. And you expect for it when it's out of season to not be available. And if it is available, it's not fresh. It's come from somewhere else. So at the Red Rooster, everything they had was in season, and the food was very, very good. Now, it's owned by a celebrity. So it was on my bucket list of places to go, places to check out. But the hype is real. Now, I don't know if I don't want to say it's in a bad part of town, but it's not in the best part of Brick Hill. I can say that. But as far as the food goes, you will forget about where you're located at. And it got crowded. It got very, very crowded around, We got there about 6:15 eating or seating, and about 8 o'clock it was jam packed. We were outside waiting on our taxi to go back to the hotel, but they got it got jam packed, and I definitely know why, because the food was great, and I saw a lot of couples. I didn't see any kids, but food that good will surprise or be beyond the palate of a kid. They're not ready for that yet. No, they're not. So when you go to Miami, like I said, branch out and spend $100, $60 to $100 is what it costs to eat out for for a couple, and you will definitely get your money's worth. You would definitely love what you're gonna eat. But the thing I like the most about Miami is that I have eaten a lot of food in New York, LA, Chicago, which I'm going to in a couple of days. San Fran, Seattle. And Miami is definitely in the top 5 of places to go eat at. It's definitely in the top 5. You would not regret that. In the South, the only city I seen they got better food than Miami in the entire South. Now, I'm gonna do some more exploring in the South. Don't get me wrong. I've been to a lot of places in the South, and I was born in the South. I wasn't raised in the South, but I was born in the South. But the only city that I saw with better food than Miami is New Orleans. There ain't no doubt about it. New Orleans is one of the top 3 cities in America for food. There's no doubt about it. Charleston got great food, but Charleston is overpriced, overrated. Savannah got great food, and the prices are great. But Savannah don't have the number of restaurants that's got great food like a Miami do. Savannah got a lot of restaurants, but Miami got hundreds of them. I mean, hundreds of restaurants with great food. And that's the thing I like Miami. And like I said, you can go anywhere in the whole Miami metro area and get good food. It doesn't matter where you go. Little Havana, food's great. I had all kind of foods, and I always have had all kind of foods in Miami. It's just one of those cities that the more you go explore the city, the more you find food that you like. Some of the foods you never had, but you're gonna find out that I like them. I never had them, but I do like them. So when you go to certain places, don't eat what everybody else eat. Dare to be different. Don't be basic. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. Don't be basic. Try that place that you're wondering, it's been here 20 years. No one's in there. Why? Because if you got a restaurant in any city, downtown or in a nice neighborhood or a decent neighborhood, and you've been there for a long period of time, you're doing something right. You are doing something right. And people don't get that. You can't not survive on 2 or 3 days a week in a decent area. No, you got bills to pay. You got to pay those bills. In order to pay those bills, you got to be doing something that's right. And that's the part that people don't get. Because like in Miami, every place down by the port is good food. But there are places that are great food that you might miss out on. And don't go always by Yelp or TripAdvisor and what they say about the food. A lot of times, they're just the employees want you to come in there to give them a tip. They ain't doing nothing special. They ain't got nothing great. They just got people suckered in, and it is what it is. But when you get to the Red Rooster and some of the other places like Maddie's and stuff, Miami, even Crazy About You, I think it's overpriced. But I think it's a decent price for what you get. For what you get, it's a decent price. The Rusty Pelican. See, I didn't like that as much because anytime on your website or you walk into their place and the first thing they tell you how great they are is a drink, then you in a bar. If you don't want to be number one in drinks, then don't be a bar. Because see, some places tell you we got all this, we got all that. They are a bar. If you want to be a restaurant, on your webpage, and the first thing you should think about is food. You gonna get let me tell you something real quick. I do not go to eat where I want to drink. I do not go to drink where I want to eat. Nope, I don't get them mixed up. I keep them totally separate. If I'm hungry, I want a good meal, and if you got a drink on the side that's decent, I'm okay. I am okay. But if you think that I'm hungry and a bar is going to entice me, that's never, ever going to work. Nope, don't work that way. If I want to go out drinking with some friends, I understand I'm going to get bar food. I understand it's going to be subpar. I understand it's going to be your typical wings and maybe some fried green tomatoes if you're in Charleston or the Carolinas. I understand that. But when I want to eat, I want a place that specializes in food, and they make most of their money in food, and the bar is just the dessert. That's how I think. Now, some people go to a bar and complain about the food. Well, you at a damn bar. What did you think is going to be number one? What did you think that they make their money off? It's the bar. It's not the food. So if you go there and you get disappointed, your feelings get hurt, it is what it is. But don't get them twisted. They both specialize in different things for the same reason. Where can I make my money at? And they have decided, one has decided it's the bar, and one has decided it's the restaurant. Now, Miami got a lot of after-hour places to go at, and you don't go there. You don't go there to eat. No, you go there to drink, because they got a lot of nightclubs, a lot of things to do, and Miami is a partying city, and it's really New York of the South, or LA of the East. Depends on how you want to do it. And Miami is another city that's spread out. You got to travel a little bit, to get to certain places, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. You can stay downtown and just walk around and do your own thing. That choice is up to you. But when I look at price and food quality, there's not a lot of cities that pass Miami up. Very, very few. Maybe New Orleans with prices and stuff, and maybe LA, because LA got such a big variety. New York is expensive. The salaries are high. You paying people whatever. New York is very, very expensive. But we all know that because it is the Big Apple, which means big prices, which means slow traffic. We get all that. That's how New York operates. But to go to Miami, it is just a breath. I mean, it's just a breath of fresh air. It is what it is. And there's, like I said, even there are places in Miami that look like they're sleepy towns or sleepy areas of the town. You may think this whole part of the city is asleep. Hell no. You just can't find the action. It's not sleep. It's wide awake. And then the other thing too is that the restaurants and the bars, or don't even say the nightclubs, they close fairly late. Nightclubs, I'm not sure they even close unless it's the morning. The nightclubs might close when the sun comes up, but it's definitely a whole different world. So I'm going back to Miami to see what it's like for a different reason, and I want to experience some more food in different parts of the town, because I can get Haitian food. I can get food from anywhere in this part of the world, and I can get it in Miami, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be worth the money. No one's gonna pretend that they are learning how to cook that filet mignon for $65. No. You won't find that kind of cut in Miami, but you'll find some Argentinian filet mignon. They're not eating the same cut Texas is eating. Filet mignon is filet mignon. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's the same cut of beef. But how they cook it and season it is what stands out in Miami. Texas is just salt and pepper. Got that, love that, great thing. But Miami, it's a whole different ballgame. The seasoning they use, can be from anywhere in the world, and you're gonna love it. This is your boy DJ Leon D, telling you, if you get a chance to go to Miami, don't eat anywhere twice, because it's just as nice. Peace.